Far Beyond the Void is an original Dungeons & Dragons actual play live stream and is recommended for mature audiences. It may contain descriptions of graphic violence, coarse language, horror themes, supernatural themes, terribly lame jokes, and more fun stuff.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Christmas Role-Playing Games, North Queensland's premier tabletop role-playing game community. What is going on, everybody? It is Saturday night, and that can only mean two things. Number one, I've started drinking, and number two, it's time for another episode of Far Beyond the Void. What's going on, guys?
Hey, nothing much.
How you doing, everybody?
Fine D&D, I hope.
Yeah.
Maybe. It kind of depends on how many drinks I have, whether or not we actually play any D&D. We might end up playing something else, poker, whatevs. I'm cool with it.
I'm not very good at poker.
Well, let's play that then. All the more reason to want to play poker.
I'm keeping my clothes on.
Okay, let's not play poker then. Let's play something else. Let's play... what else can we play? I think we did Scrabble last time. I think we talked
Are
about
there more
Boggle.
wheels than
What
doors
other
in the
games?
world?
Snakes and ladders? Snakes and ladders? Strip snakes and ladders?
We can play
Is this how we
Pizark.
get Mark- Is this how we get Mark to bring the milkshake to the yard?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm really just trying to coax those milkshakes out because they were promised. And we're not that far away from 300 followers. We only got, what, another 32 followers? Oh no, 38 followers until we reach that 300 mark. So you really got to start massaging those milkshake factories in advance so that they're supple and ready to go when we hit that 300 follower goal. Isn't that right, Mark?
Yeah, translation, I better start learning the song.
That's not what I meant, but let's go with it. It's episode 8, I think. Is that right? Episode 8? Does that sound right to everyone else?
Sounds about right to me.
Sounds about
7,
right.
8, wait. We're one
no,
ahead
just
of... No, we're one ahead of Forces of Nature.
I think it's 2.
Forces of Nature just had episodes... Oh, 2?
Yeah, I think it's 2.
Okay, yeah, well then it would be 8 because we just had 6 for Forces.
Episode 8. Well, you know what? I'm the DM and the host. I can say it's whatever episode I want it to be. This is episode 71 of Far Beyond the Void.
Excellent.
I'm here...
So what's happened in the... I think I've missed about 60-something episodes, so
Yep.
what have I missed?
Yeah.
Update, recap.
Don't worry about it. You didn't miss much.
Okay,
Just
no worries.
Mostly Thrash suplexing people, paying people way too much gold, Dranbalas lighting creatures on fire, and
So
Verena
Dranbalas and I are still on our way to the Temple District, right?
being
That's taken
frustrated. Yeah, pretty much.
the episodes to get from the ship to roughly there. Sounds good.
Yeah, it took about 60 episodes. That's how it usually goes in
Well,
Dungeons &
Guida
Dragons.
took the long way, so...
There may have been a door or a ladder or a bridge or something that took 35 episodes to get across.
Definitely a door.
Yeah.
Definitely a door. No, probably in our case a rope ladder, a rope bridge.
I want to talk about, like, encounters in Dungeons & Dragons, and for those who have experience with other tabletop role-playing games, because you're all pretty much DMs now. Some more experienced than others, but Grace, you've run things at the Townsville Tabletop Guild now as well, right? Haven't you? No, you give me that look? Well, you know what? Welcome to the club. You're a dungeon master. You've run the Christmas special, and we've started with Beware the Witching Hour. So you're a DM now. So I thought it might be a good time to talk about encounters. What makes an encounter fun? And you as a DM, what do you do to keep players engaged with the encounters? Because this is a topic that I want to do more with. I want to keep at the forefront of my mind to not just throw encounters at you just because I feel like this is a tabletop role-playing game and you need to have an encounter. Sometimes you fall into that sort of mindset or that trap where you're like, we've gone 3 episodes of just roleplay, there needs to be an encounter, and you throw some encounter that's just really uninteresting, doesn't need to be there in there. So let's go across the board, across our lovely suicide squad arrayed beneath me, and let's talk about how do you as a DM create encounters that are interesting and engaging, Or if not that, what do you find as a player is interesting in engaging in an encounter? Starting with who wants to? Let's roll. Let's roll for it. Who wants to roll a dice? Roll a d.
Yeah, roll it.
20.
Sure.
Oh, at least I got that out of the way. 3.
3, a 2. It's a good start. It's a good
Sure,
start.
3.
Oh, 10. Always mediocre.
13. What did you get? Sorry, Thrash. I can't see it because it's not coming up on my game log because it's all wrong. Let me just refresh that. But in the
Hey.
Got a
meantime,
10.
she got 10. That means Verena is up first. Ali.
Ooh, we're going backwards.
Oh, are we?
Hello.
Whoops. Never
She
mind.
got a 2.
Are we?
I read the
I
wrong
got
thing.
2.
Yeah, we're going backwards. That's
We're going
totally
from
okay.
lowest to highest.
Yep, that's
You know,
how I do
that-
things.
If we do that, that actually works out to be exactly the order of across the screen.
Great, let's do that. Verena, you're up. Talk to me.
Okay. I have a few enemies that are like my pride and joy. So if I'm running a one shot and I want it to be good, those are the enemies I use. Which consists of hags and beholders and everything in the beholder family.
Never playing on one of your one shots.
Yeah. Otherwise, I really like to have enemies that can talk. So I can do a little bit of roleplay with the players as we're fighting.
Okay. So, if we're talking to a new DM here, is that like your recommendation for how to make encounters interesting? Is adding that element of roleplay into the encounter?
Yeah, I think that it's probably harder to do, and I wouldn't really recommend it for newbie DMs. Just because it takes that extra step of effort where you actually have to come up with dialogue for these people. But if you can get it down pat, then it's really enjoyable for everyone, and I highly recommend.
It does add that extra layer of complexity when you're already, as a DM, if you're running multiple creatures with all different stat blocks and all that kind of stuff. You've already got a lot to think about, but it is good, I find, every couple of rounds to insert maybe a little bit of roleplay or maybe just an extra layer of description or something like that. So yeah, that's fun. And why are beholders and hags your favourite?
I really like spellcasters, and they're basically spellcasters.
Pretty much, yeah.
You can do random stuff. Keep them on their toes.
I'm a huge fan of beholders, and I've never run one, which is strangely ironic. Never had the chance to run a beholder
have.
yet.
Ironic.
Ironic. Very good. Very good.
Hey
Froth.
Sven,
Yes.
it sounds like you've got a Hammond organ going on behind you.
Yeah. You've got like this weird
That's the ambience, and I think it's my headphones. Because I've got the ambience running, and I think the microphone is being very, very sensitive and picking up the sound from my headphones. So I could change it to where I don't hear it. So I'm thinking that's where I might do. In the meantime, Froth, talk to me about how you make encounters interesting, because you've DM'd a fair bit as well.
I have, yeah. So I was thinking in my head, there's a couple of key factors. Don't have just one opponent. There's always got to be a bit of a mix. Have it as a part of the storyline. Really got to try and tie that in there to give it some purpose. I like to make some consequence on the timing of it as well. So like a complication as such. So yes, you are fighting this person, but you've got to get to the other side of them within 20 rounds or something like that, as a really terrible example. And reward as well.
Reward. Like, what do you mean, reward?
Like moving on through the storyline to the next piece, and tying it in that way. And if they do it within a certain time, then maybe they get something extra, or maybe some making sure there's maybe some low-level loot there or something like that, or high-level loot, depending on how severe the encounter is. And I like to make them all fairly challenging, try and match it to the player's capabilities as closely as possible.
But you've got to make sure that if the way that you're making the encounter interesting is by giving them extra reward, that they know that reward is going to be there for them.
If they find it.
If they find it. Because otherwise, they don't know that it's there, and it might make the encounter less engaging for them. So I think that's fun. So if you have an enemy, a big bad, and they're wielding a shiny golden sword or something like that, that could be something that makes them more engaged in the combat, because they know that they're going to get that afterwards. And then when the creature dies, you make the shiny golden sword explode, so they can't have it. And then you watch them cry, and then you do what DMs do, and you collect all their tears, and you wipe them on your face for eternal use.
Like the flaming sword, you see like half of your enemies using, like all of them have these flaming swords, and you think they've all got flame tongue swords, and you go to pick them up, and it turns out to be a special ability they had. And they're just ordinary swords.
I love that. I love disappointing people. That's what I do best. Speaking of disappointing people,
before at all.
Grace, interesting encounters. You can take that multiple ways. It could be that you disappoint people, or it could be that I disappoint you. You know, I'll let you decide.
I guess my favorite thing to do is kill people in interesting ways. I really enjoy home brewing something into all of my encounters to like put my own special spin on it. Like that gingerbread dragon that I ran for the one shot. We were sort of running out of time and no one really got it, so I had to like tell people. But it had like a thing baked into it, for lack of a better word, where if you hit it with fire magic, it actually increased its AC up until about 25. And then once you hit it at 25, it burst because it's gingerbread. And if you bake gingerbread to the point where it's brittle, if you hit it with bludgeoning damage, it's just going to smash.
Yeah, that's true. If you do bake your gingerbread and then hit it with a maul,
hammer,
it is more than likely going to break to pieces. 25 AC is pretty high though.
Yeah, look, I wanted to see how long it would take them to realize, God, we should probably stop hitting it with fire.
And that comes down to, you've got this really interesting thing with your creature or your character or whatever it is that you've got that you're throwing up against them. A lot of the times we fall into this mindset that tabletop role-playing games are like the equivalent of video games. Just keep hitting the thing until it goes down, you know what I mean? I think that's like a trap that we've got to avoid and like really think about it, because when it comes to tabletop role-playing games, you have that freedom to be able to attack problems in a creative way. But sometimes, and like I do this too, it's an enemy, just bash it until it goes away. So I think that comes down to how you describe it and set it up for your players. You've got to make sure that they understand that option is there, otherwise they just don't know.
I never want it to be just hit it.
Yeah.
Because as a player, just hit it is something that really grinds my gears. Just because, I don't like just hitting things, I'm gonna be honest. I really love roleplay, and that's why I love Witchlight so much, because it's so much roleplay. I just don't like hitting things. It's like my least favorite part of D&D, fighting.
There's our party barbarian.
That's the barbarian, everybody. The barbarian that doesn't like hitting things. That's why you don't.
This also explains what. Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say.
The barbarian that doesn't attack recklessly.
The barbarian. Well, yeah, no, I fully get that, and that's what I was talking to you guys about earlier. Is that an encounter should never just boil down to just rolling the dice until the thing goes away. You've always got to try and add extra stakes, because hitting things becomes more interesting when there's something on the line. When you roll the dice and you miss, and you know that miss could end up costing something important, that's when hitting things actually can be interesting and fun. because you know that if you miss that attack, it's like gambling. You've got to have something on the line. You've got to have stakes. If you don't have stakes, then the encounter is uninteresting. But moving on, Mark, Patch,
Yeah.
you're an experienced DM now. You're running Forces of Nature on episode 6.
Mm-hmm.
How do you keep encounters interesting?
Well, a couple of things I like to do. You touched on one of them in what you were saying before in the...
You can't prove that. I didn't touch anyone.
I said you touched on something. Where there's got to be stakes, right? Like there's got to be risk involved. I never run an encounter that would be considered anything less than deadly. Like there's always a very good chance the encounter I put forth is going to kill the players, or at least one of them, if they don't use everything that they've got to the best of their ability and work together. The other thing I like to do is, and it really helps having great players who have actually done work on their backstories, is I like to tie things in with that, like without giving too much away. Advala from Forces of Nature, Jason's character, he's a Drake Warden Ranger, right? But rather than giving him just the straight up Drake that can use all the elements from the outset, I had him go on a quest, which you'll get to see in the Patreon content when we get it edited together. He acquired his first element of Drake, being red, fire. And so now I've got this little hook I can use for him for any encounter where I throw a different draconic creature at him of a different color, so he can acquire, or have a chance to acquire, another element by slaying that creature. And so now we're in the middle of an encounter now where there's a bunch of kobolds that are with a green drake. Not a dragon, just a drake. But it's a green guard drake. If he manages to kill that, if he gets the killing blow, he'll get his acid version of the drake, that he can use. And just a little, and it's not like the kobolds being there isn't overly linked to any other part of the story. It's just that it's kind of, common knowledge that kobolds worship dragons. They found this guard drake in the forest that they've managed to somewhat tame. And these guys have come down the path as they were doing whatever they were doing. The players don't know. And tried to ambush them. Cool. Party's traveling, ambushed by kobolds. That's pretty standard fare, but there's that opportunity for something that links into that thing. With Loki in one of the earlier things, his character Lucian got chased by a revenant who turned out to be his dead sister, his dead estranged sister, and it's now not destroyed and pursuing him. So that's something I can bring back at any time, and it's tied in with the story, So things like that I think can help keep it engaging, because people are like, DM actually paid attention to the work that I did as well, and that helps bring them in. I love that you do that, like the fact that Talishrin is such a big part of the world now, and that was part of my backstory. That was fucking huge.
Yeah, I get you. Take what the
not
players
just
give
engage in
you,
the encounter, but the world.
Work with it, work it in, and that makes it more engaging. And that sort of segues into the point that I'm going to make as well for anyone out there who's DMing or thinking about DMing, or if you are DMing and you've run encounters that you feel like people just aren't enjoying. What it really comes down to, for me, I think is the most important thing, is you got to make the players engaged with their character, and that creates stakes. When it's just a bunch of words on a piece of paper, it means nothing whether your character lives or dies. You've got to get them emotionally involved in the story, emotionally involved with the NPCs, and emotionally involved with their characters, because when you get that emotional attachment, then the dangerous situations actually emotionally affect them. And that's really the heart and the core of good storytelling, is getting people to feel emotionally attached to the protagonist and the characters that are in the game. Because when you read a poorly written book, you don't feel that emotional attachment, and you just don't care, and you close the book and you put it away. It's the same thing for Dungeons and Dragons. You've got to get the players emotionally attached, which is what I do with your animal companions. I get you emotionally attached to them, and then I kill them. Yeah, so there's a little secret for you.
You can't kill Gadget.
And that's...
Gadget is unkillable.
No, because I've already killed Gadget a couple of times. And to be fair, I can kill you, and if I kill you, then Gadget's dead too by association.
After 5 days. Gadget lasts 5 days after I die.
Not if he kills you, then kills Gadget. And then bring Gadget back.
Yeah, that's always a possibility. Anyway.
Thrash will bring Gadget back. If it is, I promise you now, if Verena dies, I will take a level in Artificer and I will fucking bring Gadget back myself.
Alright.
That's
That
goal.
is my solemn pledge.
You will need to take 3 levels in Artificer to be able to do that.
I will drop levels of Barbarian. Thrash will be that depressed.
Aww.
I'm not allowing it. Let's go for tonight. Kill Verena. Make Grace struggle with 3-level Artificer dip, because that's not going to be fun for you, I guarantee it, as a barbarian. But it'll be fun for me and everyone watching. Take character backstories and how they go blah blah blah, and make things interesting and entertaining. Yeah, make things interesting and entertainment. And when it comes to streaming, you have the extra expectation is that what you're doing is not only entertaining for your players, but it's also entertaining for the people watching the stream as well, and that adds an extra layer of complexity. So don't copy what we do here, do what you find fun at the table. Because that's what it's all about. It's about individuality and playing the game that you want to play. Because otherwise, we could all just play Diablo, as Mark so elegantly put it earlier on in the night. So I've been stalling long enough. Who remembers where we left off on the last episode? Yep. Anyone?
Me.
Anyone?
Me.
Anyone?
Because I'm not here, right?
Alright, Mike, fine. You got it. You big hairy bastard. Tell us what happened.
So, Verena and Thrash went to meet with Luigi to talk about the things. I wasn't paying much attention because my character wasn't there, so I don't know the things that they learned. But they met Helia. Is that right?
Helia,
yep.
yeah.
Yeah, Ali's other character. She seems a bit like Chaos Incarnate, so that should be fun. And then Patch and Dranbalas were on their way with Guida, who to the Temple District to find a cure for Sliverbarks. Guida being the rather hilarious NPC that we discovered on the ship when we got back. And Thrash has agreed to pay 5 gold per day. That's 35 gold per week.
How much is that in Australian dollar reduce, Mark?
Well, I don't know about
$3,500, isn't it? No, that's like 300.
No, it's like 350. No, so each gold is about 100. So it's like 500 gold a day. So yeah, it's about $3,500 a week.
Yeah, something like that. It's about what I should be earning, give or take. And you know what? I'm also willing to be paid in gold bullions as well. I don't know about you guys, but I find that would be really, really fun. And unfortunately, the whole banking system's ruined that for everyone. That roundabout sums it up. Alright, so I think there's a couple of other things that we should probably mention. You also found out that, we've established already that Sliverbark is not feeling well, but you've sort of started to see the effects of that starting to spread through Sliverbark. So that's the reason why you guys decided to go to the Temple District in the first place, to see if you can find someone who can help you with that. And there was also the situation where you were told by Lucidius Harkin, he gave you a new job on a planet called Postreon to help them deal with some megafauna, which I love that word. I don't know about you guys, but megafauna is amazing. That had been harassing the workers of a cigar company. And you were also told by Luigi that Kukulane, whose footsteps you had been following in, had travelled to a planet called Collier and incited some type of indigenous population uprising against the GIF who were there at the time, or something along those lines. Something to do with a bombard cannon, which is the bombard cannon that's currently on board the Autumn Leaves, or so you presume.
He got sent to space prison.
Sent to space prison. Well, he actually broke someone out of space prison in order to get the bombard cannon.
There you go.
to do something on the planet of Kolia. And that's pretty much where we left off. So, Verena and Thrash and Helia at the Happy Beholder with Large Luigi. Dranbalas, Patch, and everyone's favourite, Guida. Heading through the city at midnight to the Temple District. We're going to open up tonight at a different scene. One that's familiar to someone in the party. Only one person. We open up to a small, dark, circular chamber. As we take a moment for our eyes to adjust to the dim light being cast by a single bioluminescent fungus suspended from the ceiling of this chamber by an intricate spider web, we can hear the ragged, gasping breaths of a male drow that's currently tied down onto a large stone slab in the center of this chamber. We can hear like a wet thud over and over and over again. And we pan down to see this scarred drow male veteran bound onto this stone slab, his chest cavity cut open.
Really?
Standing over him is a 5 foot and a bit tall drow woman drenched in the man's blood, holding a slender, serrated, wickedly curved blade in her hand. With the other hand, she reaches into the man's chest, and with a sickening, ripping, tearing sound, she tears his still beating heart from his chest, allowing the blood to drip down onto her face. She turns away from the man as the light goes out from his eyes and turns to face a circle of candles which suddenly flare to life in a sickening purple glow. A thick black smoke starts to materialize and roil up in the center of this circle of candles. It continues to grow until it reaches a full 7 foot tall before the smoke starts to melt away. And as it melts, it begins to take on the appearance of melted candle wax with a single eye in the middle. And we black out. And we come back up to the Happy Beholder, where we find Thrash, Helia, and Lady Verena still in conversation with Large Luigi. Is there anything else that you wanted to ask him?
I don't think so. I think we got all the information we needed.
Yeah,
I mean, did we ask them where the Silver City was?
I don't remember, but I presume that Helia knows.
You know what? Yeah, I would say that Helia probably does know about where the City of Steel is, Glenenhall. Glenenhall is actually the nearest neighbour to Brawl. Helia would know that most of Brawl's metal provisions comes from Glenenhall. She would know that it's populated almost exclusively by dwarves and that it has a separate section of the city, which is where the other races are sort of allowed to do their business and trade. And she would know that, basically metal, like mining metal ore from the surrounding asteroid belt is basically what the dwarves make their living on. I'll get you to roll a history check as Helia.
Can do. Oh, golly gosh. Ooh, 19.
Ooh, 19. Alright, one extra thing that Helia knows, and this is a little bit of extra lore, is she knows that in the past, before it became settled by the dwarves, the asteroid of Glinenhull had a normal, well, in the sense of Spelljammer, normal gravitational plane. But a long time ago, a dragon came to settle the asteroid and actually somehow reversed the gravitational plane of the asteroid, which forced the rocky exterior of the asteroid apart, exposing the metal core of the asteroid. When the dwarves settled Glendenhall, they built their city directly into the metal core of the asteroid. Bit of extra lore for you, but that's pretty much it. I will get you to do a little bit of role playing back and forth with Helia and Thrash while I go deal with something, and I'll be back in a second, and we'll pick it up from there. All right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Please.
Okay. Well, I mean, it would be nice to be back in polite company. It's been a while since I've spoken to a dwarf. It'd be nice to get back with my kind, I guess.
That's who you're interested in.
No, I was raised by dwarves. That
Oh.
just makes sense. Yeah,
Well,
a
I
whole
don't know,
bunch of them
darling.
actually. What do you mean you
They're
don't know?
they're questionable company.
No, they're not. Dwarves are the best.
Speaking
They're
of
fucking
questionable
so cool.
company, do you have a ship?
I do. It's not
Oh,
my
yeah.
ship, but it's
Whose
like
is it?
my friend's ship. I think it's like a democracy ship. Like we all share the ship. The ship is ours. It is no one's ship. It's like communism,
Right.
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does your fancy ship have a name?
Verena, does a ship have a name?
Our ship is called the Autumn Leaves, darling.
That one. Yep, the leaves of autumn. So true. So true. That's right. The autumn leaves. That's our ship. Leaves in autumn. Very leafy. Like.
Thrash,
Yeah.
can you roll me an insight check? I just want to see if you
Sure.
notice something.
You're not gonna get much out of this. Oh, fuck. Hang on. Oh, I thought that was a nat 20. It was nearly a nat 20. It's a 5.
Okay, yeah, you notice nothing.
Okay.
Business as usual then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Helia kind of looks at Luigi and is like, Luigi, darling, was that Koo's ship?
The Autumn Leaves?
Yes.
It most certainly was. Yes, the Autumn Leaves was an unconventional ship. A living ship, as I believe they called it.
Awesome, so I'm on the right track.
Yeah, our ship has a tree on it who gives really bad relationship advice. It, like, fucking told me I needed to listen to things. Like, I need to sit there and I need to listen, and when I listen, I'll grow up or something like that. Who wants to sit there and listen all the time? That's horrible relationship advice.
I mean, sometimes it's better to stay a child at heart.
See, Verena, she likes me. I'm likable. I'm a very likable tabaxi. See? Huh? Very
Verena's
likable.
just rolling her eyes. Eyes are almost rolling outside of her head.
While you're having this conversation, you hear a sound. You hear like a scratching sound coming from the door. And you see instantly Large Luigi pivots on the spot and looks towards the door, his large central eye furrowing. What do you do?
Would
Were you
Verena
expecting
recognize
yes?
it?
Would Verena recognize it? Yeah, I think Verena would recognize it.
Okay. Verena will instantly just get up and run to the door.
As you start to get up, all of a sudden your head starts to swim and you feel an intense sense of vertigo as you start to stand up. And you start to feel like disassociated from what's going on around you for a moment. I'll get you, Thrash and Helia to roll a perception check.
I am
Nope.
good at those. That would be I can't see because the dice is in the way.
20.
Dirty 20.
A 20. So we got a 20 and a 5. Thrash, this makes sense, right? Because Thrash has been with Verena more often, and her eyes probably linger on Verena probably more than they should. As Verena starts to get up from the chair, you see her. I don't want to say stumble, but you see her eyes go unfocused for a second as she gets up out of the chair, and she blinks before she starts making her way across the room towards the door. You want to do anything?
Thrash is just gonna look at Verena quizzingly, and then just sort of say, "Are you okay?" That was a thing that happened.
You feel like nauseous. You feel like you have vertigo. You feel a little bit like you're not fully here, but not so much at the moment, at least, where you feel like it's going to affect you. You're still you, but you just feel a little bit unwell.
She'll just turn to Thrash briefly and say, I'm perfectly okay. Thank you for inquiring. And then we'll just keep walking to the door.
That's so sus. Inside check.
Okay. Deception and insight, please.
Can do.
And I have a question.
I frown upon those.
I know, but it's maybe important.
All right, I'm gonna frown.
Fuck.
So,
Yeah, I frowned. Now you can ask the question.
okay. So, if a particular creature is animated by a form of magic, and it enters a Beholder's anti-magic cone, what happens to it?
Well, I would assume that creature discontinues its functionality.
Good, just checking.
Yeah. So I guess the question that we got to ask here is, when Verena opens the door and you see Gadget standing at the door, and Luigi is looking straight at Gadget, what happens to Gadget? Is it a magical creature, or is it a construct that you've created?
Gadget is a construct by title.
Creature type as well, I believe.
Let's see. Steel Defender. Yeah, it's just a construct.
Just a construct. There's got to be some type of magical element to it. So, you know what? I'm just going to allow you to decide whether or not Gadget still functions.
I'd say it's like a mix in between. Like, Gadget's still functional,
Yep.
but is like stuttering.
According to D&D Beyond,
Yep.
the forums, by default, constructs are considered creatures and are not deactivated by anti-magic fields unless it's specifically noted in their stat block.
Alright, I'll tell you what. I'll meet you in the middle. If there's anything that Gadget has to do that requires a roll, we'll do it at disadvantage and we'll call it a day. What do you
Sounds
reckon? Sounds good?
Yeah.
Alright. So when Luigi ultimately attacks you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When ultimately Helia becomes my like primary character, then
Yes.
it's whatevs.
I'm setting that up.
So, and I didn't bring that up to be a pain. I was genuinely curious as to how that was going to work.
No, I'm curious about
Yeah.
that too. No, I want you guys to bring that up because there's a lot of stuff about Dungeons and Dragons, or like those little really crunchy rule things that don't come up often that I need to learn as a DM, because I don't know the answer to these things, and I'm far too lazy to look them up.
It
which
says
is
here
where
that
you come
things
in.
like animated armor, flying swords, like it specifies if they hit anti-magic, they cease to function, but a construct counts as its own creature, so
Okay.
that it doesn't.
It
Alright.
does. Okay. It says the following in the Steel Defender stat block. It says that they're a construct, but in some of their abilities, like their repair ability, it says the magical mechanisms inside the Defender. So I assume those abilities that are magically inclined would
They
not
wouldn't be
work.
able to use. Yeah,
But
makes
like Gadget's deflect attack would be still okay, because that's just
technological.
I'm a hulking cat. Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
All right, I dig it. All right, so you open the door, and like any good kitty cats coming home at night time, you see Gadget there, and peculiar.
So
Wait.
basically, a creature that doesn't exist, a good kitty cat that comes home at night time.
Have you seen the photos of my cat? She won't even leave my house because she just loves me too much. I was going to say a word, and as I was saying it, it didn't make any sense in my head. So strangely, you see that clutched in Gadget's mouth is a small sheaf of folded paper.
Okay. Verena's gonna give Gadget some scritches, first and foremost, and then we'll take the paper and unfold it.
Alright. It explodes. You take 10 d20 damage. No.
Are you serious? Oh.
No.
You're too easy, Grace. Okay. Would you like to read that, Verena?
Oh,
So bright.
okay.
So bright.
I'll read it in the Verena voice.
You talking about me or the note, Grace? Never mind. Okay, read it in the Verena voice. That's fun.
Okay. To Lady Verena Whitlock, please allow me to preface this message with an apology. It was never my intention to invade your privacy, but unfortunately Gregor can at times allow his fervour to drive him to act irrationally. I had only asked him to report to me should a group matching your description be sighted within the city. As a show of good faith, I would like to invite you to meet with me on the morrow at a small and discreet establishment near to the burrows called the Rock Rat. Aloretta Leroy? Leroy. Yes. Right.
Doesn't sound sus at all, does it?
Gives
No,
me
not at all.
Dolores Umbridge vibes on like a level that cannot be explained. Big time Dolores
Yeah,
Umbridge vibes.
That's the Talishrin lady, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Presumably.
Verena.
Unless
will just
someone
pocket this.
intercepted Gadget on the way here and took that message and replaced it with a different message just to fuck with you. Who knows?
Gasp.
Something I would do.
Sounds like something you would do.
Thank you. I'm glad we're on the
Did
same
I get
page.
anything out of that check?
That's why you're number 2. What check was that? Oh, the 20.
Inside check. I got a 20, she got a 24.
I'm just so much better, you know?
Nope. No, not really. Just standard Lady Verena stuff.
Just quirky like
but
that.
I rolled so high.
And I rolled higher.
You did, and she rolled higher, so my hands are bound as the DM. I
To
have
be fair,
no...
Grace rolled higher on the dice, but Verena's just real good.
She's just mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Wait till you see Helia.
do you read that out, or are you just
No.
keeping that to yourself?
I will read that to myself and I will pocket it hopefully before anyone notices.
Roll a... Oh, it's going to be a sleight of hand check here, and I'll tell you what, pulling it out, reading it, putting away, I think this is going to be at a disadvantage.
Can I do a perception check? Because I'm actively watching to see
sir.
if she's okay.
Absolutely, you can roll a perception check.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I don't think you need to.
I'm gonna do it anyway.
It was like two sides of the coin.
Ouch.
Yes. You see Verena take something out of Gadget's mouth, and with a natural 1, you see that it's a piece of paper, and you see her lips move as she reads it to herself and then stuffs it in her pocket. And with a natural 1, I'll tell you even more. You can tell she's trying to hide it from you.
Nice. So Thrash walks straight up to Verena and is like, what you got there? I saw that. You just shove it in there like you're trying. You do try to hide a lot from me, by the way. You realize I like you, and you're gonna need to let you know what it takes. A little you gotta give, a little that thing you've actually gotta give and take. This is how this fucking thing. Anyway, what were you reading? What were you reading?
I just, you like me, darling. That's cute.
No, you can't distract me with your pretty face and all of those smart words.
Are you
Go
sure?
back to what you were saying. Yes, I'm very fucking sure I saw you pull something out of your pocket and read it. Can you go back, circle back to that? Let's circle back to that. You can't distract
Circling
me.
back, Gadget came in, I gave some love to my adorable pet, and, you're here.
Verena,
Yeah,
please, you're in my establishment now. There's no secrets here.
See, this is... And Thrash turns to Luigi and she's like, see? She tries to gaslight me all the time. It's actually kind of mean. Like, I pick them. I really do pick them. Anyway, what were you reading? You just... Seriously, come on.
Right, See, Gadget went on a very important mission while we were down in the sewers, dealing with whatever you made me do. So, we've now got information, you're welcome, about some very important people wanting to meet up with a very important person like myself.
Amazing. So Thrash, she puts out a paw and is like, sweet, so you won't mind me reading the letter then, will you?
Darling, if you want the letter, then you're gonna have to get it for yourself. And you definitely saw her shove it down her shirt.
We have private booths if you would like to borrow one for a moment.
I think we'll be
Thrash.
fine, darling.
Come on. You missed my birthday. You missed Christmas. Give me this. I would like that letter. Nowie, please.
What's Christmas?
Christmas. St. Nicholas comes, he gives you an axe. You get an axe every year, it's like an upgrade, and you just axe and then axe, and you get another axe, and if you're a really good girl, you get a very special axe. And if you're really bad, then you get no axe, because life is hard.
And Large Luigi turns towards Helia, and he's like,
Helia, what in the 9 hells is she talking about?
I don't know, darling, but, she might be onto something. We could profit out of this. I thought of a word, okay? We're gonna call it capitalism. Because we're gonna bring in all the capital. We're gonna be big one day.
Right.
alright, so we ruined the world of Far Beyond the Void by introducing capitalism. And we fade
Not if
out
Patch has got anything to say about it.
from that
Fight the
scene.
power.
We fade out from
Take
that
back the
scene.
means of production.
And we come up on a different example of a classist system. As we see, or rather hear, the sound of boots on the cobblestones and the dead of night. The stars twinkle in a mesmerizing display above Dranbalas, Patch, and everybody's favourite, Guida, as they make their way through the city towards the Temple District. And as you reach the Temple District, it opens up onto a large plaza. In the center of the plaza, Dranbalas, you notice this first, is a small domed structure. It's only a shrine. It's not like one of the larger temples that sort of dot the surrounding hillside in front of you. But the reason why you noticed this before anything else is because you can see the 4 pillars of this shrine are decorated with intertwined draconic features that come together in the archways. You can see in the center of this shrine is the imagery of a dragon, which you would know to be that of Koreska. You can see 4 magical purple lanterns hanging from each of the 4 pillars, which is casting a purple glow very reminiscent to the one that you saw on the asteroid of Kukulane, but you can see that it's currently empty. And Guida sort of pipes up and he's like, well, here you go, Captain. We reached the temple district. I don't know what you want to do here in the middle of the night, but this is what you want, and this is where Guida take you.
I'm looking for somebody that specializes in curses, the removal of them specifically.
Well, alright. Well, I don't really know who specializes in the removal of curses. I gotta say, I'm only a deckhand. I don't know anything about magic.
That was your idea.
Well, I gotta stop you right there. You asked me who could remove a curse, and I brought you to the temple district, which is only the best place where I can think of that someone would be able to remove a curse. But we're here in the middle of the night. I don't know what you want to do.
Kind of someone.
I don't know, maybe one of the priests that work in the temple? And he points out towards all of the larger structures beyond the plaza that you're standing in front of.
Patch not being so focused on the dragon, little altar thing in the middle, probably been looking around at the larger buildings and trying to see if he recognizes any symbology and would recognize any of the gods that these temples might be too. To see if he can get an idea of which one might be better to approach first.
Yeah, so you step out further into the plaza, and you see, I can see all your little, what's it called? The pointers on the map dancing around like crazy. That's fun. I should move that so everyone else can see it. You can see directly across the plaza, and like to the northeast, you can see like a large, imposing 3-story marble building that has these magnificent archways all around the circumference of the building, and its shingled roofs have been polished to such a fine extent that they are perfectly mirroring the starlight above. Looking at that building, you realize that is the Temple of Selune, and you can tell that it's the most prominent building in the temple district.
I would look across to Patch. Patch, is there anything else you wanted of our friend here?
No, that's fine. If you wanna head back to the ship, Guida, if you're not comfortable in the temple district, that's cool. You're welcome to stick with us as well, it's up to you.
There was that one time that they accused me of that thing, but look, we'll save that story for another time. It's very funny, but if you don't want me, I'll go back to the ship. That's where I'm most comfortable.
I look at Guida.
Why are you looking at me like that? I don't like that.
I flick him a silver piece, like off the back of my thumb, like sort of flips through the air towards him. Can you roll like a check to see whether he catches it or not?
Yep, he rolled a 5, and he's going to get a +4 to that roll, so a 9, which I'm going to say is enough for him to, it hits his palm, and then he does that thing where he's like, oh, and ting, 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 and, it rolls into the gutter. And he's like, I wasn't ready for that. Why you do that?
I'll flick him another one then. And see whether he catches it. Give him advantage because he knows it's coming.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll that. With advantage. All right. With a there we go. Well, it rolled. It added them together, but it's a 14 plus 4, so that's going to be an 18. That's enough to catch it. And actually,
Yeah, sweet.
he doesn't catch it with his hand. You see his tail whip out and grasp the coin
Nice.
out of thin air, and he's like, "Well, the other one is still mine." And he runs over towards it and grabs it out of the gutter, and then he starts like sprinting down the street.
And so wait,
I guess.
head back to the ship and keep Sliverbark company.
Oh God, I got to talk to that dude. Okay, Captain, I'll keep him company, and I'll keep the ship safe. For 5 gold pieces, I'll do just about anything all day. All right, bye. And he runs down the street.
So,
So much.
I would. You or me? You want to flip for it?
Yeah. Well, Patch is looking pretty keenly at this Temple of Selene.
All right.
Well, that's the place to go.
So let's all make our way up. Oh, that's the OBS, and I can't move things over there. So you make your way into the Temple District. I'm just going to get rid of Reveal Square. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. It's the Temple District.
Hey.
Yay! Oh, I can see my little cursor there as well.
We're going to this one here.
Look at them all dancing around.
Are we all dancing over the right building?
Yes, that's the one there. And as you approach the building, you can see there's like these silvery lanterns sort of hanging from the pillars of the archways that flank both sides of the building. And as you approach, you can see that the rich oaken door with the silver filigree in it is standing slightly ajar, and from inside you think you can hear a person's voice, but you're not quite sure. This is the only temple that you've come across that's open at this point.
This looks to be the place to start. Can you hear that? Should we?
I think I can hear voices. I think we should go in and have a look and see if anyone's around. But on the way back, if we get time, I wouldn't mind checking out that Temple of Koreska.
Absolutely.
I never imagined I'd leave our world or that there was another one. Yet there we are, and Koreska is present here as well.
Well, we shall definitely check that out on the way back. That is quite interesting. I was gotta say, I'm surprised to find followers of Talishrin here as well. So it certainly seems to be more to the existence, I guess, than what I thought. Kind of going my mind a little bit. But let's go inside, shall we? Patch will into the door. And I think he probably just he won't even bother peering inside, or just open the door and then pop his head around and just be like, "Hello, anybody here?"
Looking inside, you can see that there's a grand, majestic hall, pews which line both the western and eastern walls, lining all the way up to a beautiful central. I'm not a religious person, so I don't know what the right word here is. It's like a large statue with in front of it is like a lectern type of thing, and there's an image of what appears to be a woman, and she's holding a half moon in her hand and holding it aloft, and kneeling in front of it you see what must be at least 6.5 foot, maybe even 7 foot tall minotaur. From the back you can't really tell much about them, but they're kneeling in front of this altar and sort of muttering something to themselves. You can see they're wearing a beautiful set of silvery chainmail over the top of some light blue robes, and the Minotaur's horns have been bedecked with this sort of silvery decoration to match the that sort of half crescent moon shape of the statue that she's kneeling in front of.
Hello, I'm very sorry to disturb you if you're mid-prayer. We need some help.
And the woman stops muttering to herself. She stands up and turns around, and you can see that is in fact a female Minotaur. She's holding a large mace, which she had been kneeling sort of with the head of the mace down on the ground, and she hooks it onto her belt. And I'm going to need to think of a voice for this character now, aren't I? You know what?
Probably.
It sounds strangely like me. And she says, what does she say? She says, "Come in, by Saluna's radiance, please, come in. I'm sorry, you've caught me in the middle of my prayers. I like to take a moment in the silence of the nights when the starlight is at its most brilliant to say my own personal prayers, but of course the temple is open to you, so please, come on in."
Thank you. I'm very sorry to disturb you. My name's Patch. This is Dranbalas. He's the captain of our ship, the Autumn Leaves, and it's a bit of an interesting ship, you see. It's kind of alive. We have a treant that's part of the ship. His name is Sliverbark, and he's not in a good way. We think he's been cursed, and we're not yet powerful enough to do anything about that. We're hoping someone here might be able to help.
She listens to you intently as you explain the situation, and she's like, "A living ship? It's been quite some time since a living ship has docked here in the city of Brawl. A treant, you say? A curse? Might I ask, what sort of curse are we dealing with?"
Void dragon blood?
A void dragon?
Yeah.
Blood of one at least.
We fought one, and some of the blood ended up on the roots of the tree. It's a whole thing. And he's not well, and he's deteriorated a lot faster than I thought he would.
What sort of symptoms is your treant friend exhibiting?
Seems to be struggling with like breathing, and he sleeps a lot. There seems to be some kind of like corruption in his like bark, I think, and the roots. Like there's something weird going on there. Is there anything else I'm forgetting?
Can I get you to roll either a Arcana, an investigation, or a medicine check? Or one of the three, whatever you like. We like to have fun here.
19.
19. You describe it fairly accurately to the best of your ability, and she listens to every one of your words very, very intently. She's like, "You say that you fought something called a void dragon. This is not a beast that I am familiar with."
It may have once been another kind of dragon. I'm not really sure, but
It appeared to have been corrupted by some other form.
Corruption.
Yeah.
Yes.
What was the guy's name? I'm blanking.
Whose?
Bukali?
No, the guy that's
Bad one.
is manipulating Talishrin.
Chazradon?
Chazradon, that's the one.
Good
Yeah.
one,
It may have been someone named Chazradon.
You've got notes. Yeah, I know. You're a good note taker. Hearing your story, you see a look of worry cross her face. She raises her large hands and rests them on your shoulder, looking you straight in the eye as she says, "My friend, I've never experienced anything called a void dragon before, but what you are explaining to me sounds an awful lot like the void touch curse."
That sounds bad.
What happened to the dragon may very well happen to your friend Sliverbark.
No, we have to... No. Can we stop it?
She takes her hands off your shoulder and walks back towards the statue. She's got her hands on her temples as she's clearly contemplating. She turns back towards you and points and she says, "A simple remove curse will not do for this situation. It's been a long time since I've seen someone with the void touch, but only a greater restoration spell will help with this affliction."
Oh, that's a really powerful spell, isn't it?
It is. It is indeed. Tell me, Patch, what cost do you put upon the life of a friend? Because trust me, the fate that awaits Sliverbark is far greater than death.
You know, no, we can't let that happen. Whatever it takes.
I see in your eyes that you're a good man. Unfortunately, the cost of a spell such as Greater Restoration, it's not cheap. It will come at a great cost.
Name it.
What kind of cost are we talking?
For the spell components, and she thinks for a moment, I think it will take no less than 500 gold pieces.
More than we have, but maybe not more than we could.
You must understand that the casting of Greater Restoration is within my ability to do, but it requires no small amount of diamond dust, which here on Brawl is quite a commodity indeed. Don't get me wrong, I truly wish to help your friend, but without the correct resources to do so.
You can't cast a spell if you don't have the components, I understand.
Is there anything else we can do for you and for the Church of Christ?
She walks over towards one of the pews and sits down, just staring at the statue for a long, silent moment. And she nods and she looks towards you and she says, "I believe, yes, I think there is something that you can help us with. I might be able to procure the ingredients at a lower rate from one of the other temples here in the temple district, but I'll need you to perform a task for me. And I hate
Name it.
to ask this of you, but in order to acquire the assistance of the other temples, the archpriests, this is no small task."
I understand.
We will be happy to contribute to the cause.
"Follow me." She gets up from the pew and starts walking down the aisle. Do you follow her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She makes her way towards the front door, and as the camera pans across the pews, we pass across one of the pews, and we transition back to the happy beholder. What's everyone doing there?
Good question.
Good.
Still trying to not let everyone else read the letter, I guess.
Yeah, for sure, obviously.
Is Thrash gonna be insistent?
Yeah. Thrash
No.
is going to be very insistent.
Thrash is never insistent. She lets things go really easy.
Oh, for sure. You know, Thrash is just so easygoing.
Forgive and
just
forget,
so
right?
forgetful. I know.
Yeah.
Just Thrash is just going to look at Verena and be like, "Look, okay, I know we've had our differences. I get that. But I'm not just going to let go of the fact that you read something and I actively saw you actively shove it in your active fucking pocket. Can I read it?"
Darling, Yeah, Luigi, we will take one of those private booths real quick.
Please, make
Thrash
yourself
just goes-
comfortable.
Bright red. Bright red.
Verena will bring Thrash over to one of the booths.
As
And
you guys head over towards the booth and you close the curtain behind you because there's like these thick curtains that you can draw to give yourself a little bit of privacy, Luigi turns towards Helia and he's like,
So, what's up with you?
what's up with you? I don't know why we're doing this. We see each other like all the time.
Well, things just got a little bit weird, and I just thought I'd cut through the ice.
I mean, yeah, things always kind of get weird when there's people who, overstay their welcome.
What do you make of these two? A strange pair.
I think there's tension. I'm not sure whether it's like a sexual tension, but it's a tension, alright. And I just think they need to see the right masseuse to, even it all out.
I think there's a possibility here for you, Helia. A possibility
no.
for you to reclaim what you lost.
In what way? Do you reckon I can take the ship?
Well, with the short fuse of that thrash, I wouldn't announce that so openly, but I believe there's an opportunity for you to head back out to where you belong. Don't you really, really want to get back out there upon the deck of a spelljammer?
I mean, yeah, but you know who I'm really after. And, well, I just gotta... If this is his ship, then surely he's on it.
Yes, I believe I overheard them saying that he's definitely aboard the ship. It's worth
Of course
looking
he
at.
is.
Yes, why wouldn't he be aboard his own ship?
Yeah, I mean, you should never abandon your ship unless, something happens and circumstances mean you have to. But, surely that could never happen with, the world's greatest adventurer.
Look at it on the bright side, Helia. If something did befall your hero, that would only leave an opening for you to reclaim your position as a captain of great rapport.
Right, so I am stealing the ship.
Steal might be an overstatement.
and we transition from that scene and we pass through those curtains and we see Thrash and Verena both seated at one of the private booths. What are they talking about?
Thrash is sitting there like,
Darling,
yeah.
my love. Deep breaths.
Yeah. Breathing
Okay.
is hard. Yeah.
So, this letter has some very important information on it, which might upset a dear friend of ours, okay?
I want to read it.
Darling, I'm surprised you can read sometimes.
Hey, that hurts my feelings. I have witty bitty cat feelings and you just witty bitty hurt them.
Right, so my cat's more emotionally stable than you are. Noted.
Yeah.
So, what I'm saying... What I'm saying is that I might have an appointment to meet with someone, and if I must bring someone, then I'd probably prefer to bring Dranbalas. That's nothing against you, sweetheart. Deep breaths. But...
How is that nothing against me?
Deep
You don't
breaths.
want boom boom firepower? You want pew pew scary dragon man with pew pew fire powers? That's not fair!
Okay, but also this dragon man is also very, inconspicuous with his pew pew. If we get a shakedown and they're taking away our weapons, then I'd rather have him over you. And that's mostly because I don't want to see you get hurt. But...
Oh, back up. Adorable, but back up.
Roll a deception check. Sorry.
I can be inconspicuous with my pew pew firepower. I can.
Darling,
I
no,
can
you
put
can't.
I have these, and Thrash like puts up her fluffy little paws and like shinks out her like Wolverine. It's like, see, and I can shink them back in too. See, in, out, in, out, in, out. Very
And
inconspicuous.
that's very sweet.
In, out.
You know, I really appreciate that. But if anyone's going to have a chance at, maybe restraining Patch if he were to find out that I'm doing something behind his back for his own good, then I don't really trust Dranbalas with that.
You haven't even told me what you're doing.
Darling, you know
Look,
how...
okay. I'm not the same tabaxi I was. I'm just not gonna, like, follow through with what you tell me to do just because you have a nice face. This is, like, not how this works anymore.
I have a nice face and a lot of power.
But you've gotta... Okay, good. Go on.
Let me talk. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So, what's happened is that we were getting followed, right? Going boop,
Nice.
boop, boop, behind us.
Yep.
Okay.
I like
was
the hand gestures. It's like a book
Yes.
of pictures. Very easy to follow. Yep.
I was like,
got it.
Gadget, you can go follow them. Because, you're a cat and we're doing more important things right now. Right.
Okay,
So
cat go
Gadget has found out that we've been spotted and that they're looking for us.
Oh, that's not good. Oh,
yeah,
that's
so it's not
bad.
good. Right? And
Was it that Gregory guy? Was that Gregory guy following us?
Gregor, yes.
Yeah, Gregory.
So I think that maybe Patch is not in the right emotional state to handle confrontation so quickly. So I think that you should stay with Patch and, have some bit of emotional healing, talk to Sliverbark a bit, maybe help with that situation. Make sure that, the new people on the ship don't break everything on the ship. You're very trustworthy with that. You're very physical. You can, push people down. Physically. I push people down emotionally. But furthermore, Dranbalas and I will then go to this, secret meeting. You know about it now. We'll see what's happening, what the go is, and if everything's all good, and you think this is your special task now, you think that Patch is in a good emotional state to handle this confrontation, then we can set up another meeting and, bring Patch along. And if Patch is like, oh, why didn't you tell me about this earlier? Grr, I'm a bear now. Rrr. Then we can just be like, look, suck it up. It was for your own good. Which Patch has done for us several times. I know you like Patch, but don't you like me more?
I don't want to lie to... No, frankly. He's like... Look, I don't like admitting this, I'm gonna be honest, because I'll do the whole lone wolf thing. But like, Patch is like the closest thing I have to like family currently. And I mean, you're very pretty. I do like you. You're like, and yeah, we have that whole thing, and I'm down with the kids, yo. But Patch is like, he's like my family, and I would feel very bad lying to him because
you won't be.
Yeah.
See, this is why I didn't want to tell you, because then you would be lying. But you can just twist the truth.
Lying by omission. It's worse than lying.
You can just pretend we're doing something else. I'll tell Dranbalas we're doing something else, and then no one will be any the wiser.
Patch told me lying is bad. He gave me a conscience. This is his fault.
I'll do you a deal, right? A sweet deal.
What?
Sweet little cherry on top of the cake.
You're gonna make me an offer I can't refuse.
I will. You do this for me, right?
Yeah.
I'll not only owe you a favor in the future, but if you do a really, really good job, you might get a kiss. And that's all I'm saying. So...
Deal. No, you've really gotta hack it. You gotta hack it like a nice big globby
can't do that.
like loogie. You've gotta hack a loogie on there. This is how we, have you ever, you said you've been in a mercenary company before, but you don't know the handshake. We are very clearly from different parts of Neverwinter. You have to hack a loogie and shake the hand. This is how this works.
Yes, I can tell.
You spit into the hand, you make it all like gross, and then you shake the hand, and the bond, it's like, yeah.
Darling, I
don't.
Like Thrash's mercenary company hangs out at like the docks or something, and Verena's was hired exclusively by the nobles.
The way I was explaining how Neverwinter works was there's the nice part of Neverwinter, and then there's the shitty part of Neverwinter, which
Thrash
is
is from
basically
that
in the sewer. I feel like that's where Thrash is from. But yeah, you've got to be a manly man. You got to and then yeah, and then yeah. You two fellow kids.
Well, darling, I'm not sure if you know how different people's anatomy works, but I cannot produce enough saliva to be able to do that. So you're just going to have to settle?
Oh yeah. Wait, no, we never circled back to that, did we? What exactly are you?
Look, none of us know,
we
darling.
we never circled back. No, I know it's the what are we? Why are we here? But we never actually circled back to the fact that you were me for half of a second. Yeah, we never circled back to that.
Is that something you're into?
No.
I just don't know. I'm just feeling it out. See, Dranbalas is into that. So I'm just, checking to make sure.
It actually made me quite self-conscious seeing that my fur was like that. And no one told me my fur looked like that. And then I spent the entire night in the fucking crewmate's cabin, brushing my fur back to make it look better. And then no one told me that I had, that my head was really fluffy and I had, a mohawk that they give kittens.
You're gorgeous.
Thanks. But you know what I mean.
You're
what
welcome.
are you?
I don't know.
What are you? Yeah, what do you mean you don't know?
I don't know.
How do you not know?
I don't know, do I?
Do you need to eat? Is eating a thing you need to do?
Yes.
Are you an alien? Are you gonna
what is
get
alien?
Your tentacles and are you gonna look? Thrash is Deadpool at this point. I have no fourth wall. Are you gonna I don't know. Alien is alien. You know what I mean? It's you're weird. You're weird. Are you gonna kill us in our sleep or something? You killed Sliverbark in his sleep. I need to know.
Darling.
You did.
Not
Don't
on
deny
purpose.
Yeah, but I mean, not on purpose.
Yes, not on purpose. No, I don't know what I am. Frankly, we can work it out when we have time. We don't have time, and that's cool.
That's alright. Well, no, anyway, regardless, you shook my hand, so if I do super extra well, I get a kiss. Is that still the deal we're running with? And then you also owe me a favor. Awesome sauce. Okay, so I'm gonna lie to Patch, and I'm gonna feel horrible about it.
Yes. He cannot know at all, by any circumstance.
Okay, but when should I tell him?
When I decide it's okay to tell him.
Do I get a say in this?
Minimal, yes.
I feel I don't know, I feel it's not gonna be very fair on him to keep it. This is his god. Look, I don't believe in gods.
Not his god anymore.
Yeah, not as good anymore, past tense. But
yes.
This whole god thing is new to me, and it just seems it means a lot to him. Like if someone took my axe away and was oh, your axe is being piloted by a rapier, and it's running around pretending to be a rapier, even though it's an axe.
Okay, no matter which way this meeting goes, I'll decide to tell him. If it goes well, then we'll tell him immediately.
Okay.
If it goes poorly, then we'll work out a way to make it sound nice.
Okay, so can we do a one syllable each kind of thing? You go, I go, you go, I go. Well, I don't know, I just feel it's gonna sound better coming from me. Plus, he already hates me because I left Bark behind. So I feel like if it comes from you, then like he'll just end up hating you. But I feel like if it comes from me, then he'll just continue to hate me. So like maybe it should just come from me, because then the hating will continue on me, and then you won't have to worry about him hating you.
And it can come from you later.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Good
As
chat.
soon as you get that kiss, you can tell him.
Yay.
And at that moment, we transition past through that curtain again, and we still see Helia and Luigi sort of at the bar. And as they're there, you can hear this heated argument happening from behind a curtain. And Luigi turns towards Helia again.
Do you think they know that we can hear everything they're saying?
You know, I reckon the like furry one, probably not. No, she's very loud. I've gathered that. But I am starting to think that we're gonna need a cleanup crew in there afterwards. You know, I don't know where this is going, but it's gonna be shedding some fluids.
Disintegration ray.
And on that note, we're going to go for a short break, ladies and gentlemen. We will be right back.
Yep.
And we're live, everybody. Thank you for sticking with us. We're back. Am I muted? No, I'm not muted. Great. We're back with the. I was going to say with another episode of Far Beyond the Void, but still the same episode. I'm just so thrown out of my game by what these people were talking about. It's a whole different episode. We're just going to pretend the last one didn't happen. No, we were talking about some interesting topics during the break, and now I can't remember who I am, where I am, or what the hell I was doing. So who wants to take over for me?
Sure.
All right, Mark, you are the dungeon master, and
Excellent.
I am the dungeon.
You're the dungeon?
Yep, just to make it
Okay,
really
cool.
weird.
Yeah.
Could give everyone map stuff while he's not
Yeah.
DMing.
Yeah, so
Give me a berserker
Dranbalas,
axe.
But Dranbalas, as you're walking out of the temple, you trip over, and when you get back up, you realize what you have tripped over is in fact a berserker axe. So you can go ahead and give that to Thrash whenever you like.
Next
Thrash,
to
while you're
scroll.
hanging out in the bar with Verena, you notice under the table a spell book of some description. You can't read it, so we'll find out what that is later.
What do I get?
Can't read it.
Oh, what do you get? Oh, easy. You
Betrayal.
you get sucked into a portal. The letter that you got given gets left behind, and you get taken to Chazradan.
Oh, hell yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
mighty.
we'll flash to that. Patch just like dies, has a heart attack, but in doing so,
This is an interesting development.
because he's a star druid, right? He disintegrates into tiny little specks of stardust that turn out to be diamond dust, just enough for our Minotaur friend to cast the Greater Restoration spell on Sliverbark, and I'll now be playing Sliverbark.
And she
Friend, back
scoops
to
it
you.
up with a little razor blade, puts it on a coffee table, and Dranbalas and the Minotaur priestess snort up Patch for the rest of the night, and they have a fantastic time. It gets really wild. You don't know what happens in the Temple District at night time.
Sven is really taking notes.
Yeah, it looks like Thrash is taking notes for Beware the Witching Hour. What was I going to say? Oh yes, that's right. We transition from the scene of the Happy Beholder. We fade out, and when we fade back in, we can hear the sound of heavy footsteps upon the stone floor of the Temple of Selune, as the priestess of Selune, who has yet to introduce herself because she's extremely rude, guides Dranbalas and Patch towards the open door. And as you reach the open door, she gestures in a sweeping motion out towards the northwest, where you can see across Tower Street a waist-high stone wall, and beyond you can see some rolling hills covered with, or dotted rather, with tombstones and small personal mausoleums. And she turns towards you and she says, "Out there, among the graveyards, we've had reports from some of the grave diggers that there has been a, how shall I put this, like a haunting of sorts, a restless spirit that has been harassing those who seek to pay respect to their fallen loved ones. If you would but help us, help this spirit move on into the afterlife, then I'm sure that I could provide you with a discount for the services of the Temple of Selune."
I thought the people living around here couldn't be buried there.
What do you mean?
Well, people around here are still alive, aren't they? We'll get up there and clear out your spirits. Just a joke.
It would be greatly appreciated. I'm sorry. I've spent a long time today giving sermons, and it's rather late, so I don't mean to be rude, but I didn't quite understand your joke. So do we have a deal?
Never mind about the joke. Indeed, we have a deal. Sometimes, in a world of gloom, it's important to be light-hearted.
I agree wholeheartedly. Please forgive me. In times of great darkness, it is the light from the stars and the moon that guide those wayward spirits, and I certainly hope that you, Patch, and Dranbalas can be a guiding light for this lost spirit.
We shall guide them to their eternal resting places.
Indeed. I like
Here.
the stars.
Take this. She reaches into a pouch on her belt and draws out a small glass. What's the word that I'm looking for here? Like a small glass vial. Thank you. That's why I keep you around. A small glass vial from a pouch that she keeps on her belt. It's filled with like a viscous oil that she hands to you, and she says, "You'll need this. This will allow someone, one of you, to travel into the ethereal plane. What you will need to do is, and this may sound unnerving at best, but this is the only way to deal with the wayward spirits. Draw the spirit into your body and then return back to the material plane. Once you do so, you will be free to deal with the spirit and either destroy it or set that soul that is so lost in the darkness at rest, so that it may move on to the afterworld, or the afterlife, depending on what you want to call it. But be wary. Any malevolent spirits that may be feeding off this wayward soul's anger or confusion, its emotions, may seek to take advantage of the situation and travel into the material plane along with it. Now, I'm not saying this will definitely happen, but this is Dungeons and Dragons, so it's definitely going to fucking happen. So just make sure that you're prepared for that shit, because they will try and fuck you up. But anyway, that is what you need to do. Use this oil of etherealness to travel into the ethereal plane and draw this wayward spirit into you. Come back into the material plane where you can deal with the spirit as you see fit. Once this is done, return to me and I will give you a discount upon the greater restoration that you so need for your friend. And might I just say, your willingness to put yourself at risk for your friend is truly heartwarming.
Well, of course, he's our buddy. Gotta look after your buddies. Okay, so Dranbalas, I think that maybe I go get the ghosties, and you can get them out of me, right, when I come back?
Of course.
Excellent. Alright, well, we should probably get the others just in case it turns into a fight, which it probably will, because, you know, this is Dungeons and Dragons. And of course it's going to.
Is there a time limit on this quest that you need them relieved from this plane of existence?
Well, not necessarily.
The sooner the better, right? I think our timeline is Sliverbark.
Have you a place to rest here before we go?
She turns back and looks into the giant empty hall that is the Temple of Selene. Turns back towards you and goes, No, I'm sorry, I don't think we can fit you in anywhere. Anyway, it's been nice doing business with you. No time limits. Just get it done soon, and that would be fantastic.
Okay.
May the stars in Selune guide your path.
And you also. May the silvery light of the moon forever illuminate the path of righteousness and good. And she steps back into the temple and slams the door behind her.
Can I just insight check her?
She's gone.
I don't want to like insight check her to her face. I want to like as she like. I just want to see if I notice anything weird about that, or if Patch is just like that was just normal behavior.
Sorry, I just picture Patch standing there as she's talking. Patch is just like inside check. No, that's right. Yeah, you roll.
Never mind.
Yeah,
we love natty ones.
Totally on the up and up. I may have roleplayed that in a really weird way, but no, she, as far as you can tell, she's totally on the up and up. Yes, she legit. Yeah, legit.
Yeah. All right. So shall I take the oil, and we'll go and check out Dragon Temple, and then head back and get these guys?
Yes. If we could stop by the Temple of Kareska on the way, I would like to take a moment to muse over its art forms and see if there are similarities to our own plane of existence. Then yes, with haste we shall meet up with the others.
Excellent. All right, let's go to the Temple of Kareska now then. I've got some thinking to do anyway. While you do that. So cool, we'll go to the Temple of Kareska.
Alright, heading back towards the... Well, it's not so much a temple as it is a shrine. The Temple of Selune was a full-blown temple, and it was probably one of the biggest ones here in the Temple District. While this shrine of Kareska, rather, is more just like an undercover, almost like a gazebo type of thing.
A rotunda.
A rotunda? Is that what you call it?
Yes.
Yep.
Close.
Oh, well, it's something like a rotunda. I feel like that's what I'm going to call myself in a couple of weeks if I keep up with my diet. But yeah, something like that.
Yeah, me too.
There's, on the floor, there's like these thick rugs all laid out in front of an altar which has a depiction of Kareska. And you know, Dranbalas, that Kareska often takes many forms, many draconic forms, but she's usually surrounded by like an aura of magic, so like sort of like a halo that you see from like your classical Catholic sort of artwork, something sort of like that. And you see a statue of a female draconic form, sort of mid transition between a humanoid and a draconic, like a full draconic form, surrounded by this halo of pulsating magic. You've got the sort of rugs laid out in front of it, and there's a in front of the altar is like a table, like a surface that's sort of covered in these offerings to Koreska. But you can see there's probably not many people here in Brawl, because there's only like a few things, a few personal items sort of laid out on this table. You would know that there's normally a bowl in which people can give offerings, and there's probably during the day someone who maintains the altar, but right now it's sort of empty, just lit by these purple glowing lanterns.
I would kneel down on the rugs in front of the altar.
Yep.
In a prayer-like position, and Patch, I would look over across to you and say, Patch, kneel with me, if you wouldn't mind. We shall offer our praise to Koreska and ask for her blessing on our journey. And puts his hands up, like kneels down, puts his hand up by the side of his head, and you hear Dranbalas say, Tichi Esi Gogetoy. And he sees a sparkle through his scales roll up towards his head as he does so. And
would obviously be kneeling, just sort of more observing, I think, but respectfully, and closing his eyes where he's meant to, and all those things.
And he would. I
will say though, he does look slightly uncomfortable, but like he's not letting it stop him from doing the right thing.
And then he'll put a silver piece in the bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get you to roll a religion check for me.
Got a 23.
Yeah, well.
Oh, you got a 23. Okay, never mind. You don't need the advantage card then. What is a 23? As you're kneeling in front of this altar, it's almost as if the altar begins to move, and the purple light that's being cast from these arcane sort of lanterns hanging from each of the four posts begin to flare to life, and the altar absorbs that light and reflects it back outwards. This is only happening for you, Dranbalas. You're not sure if what you're seeing is real or a figment of your dedication. But you see this arcane energy swirl and intermingle with one another in that depiction of the pulsating energy around this draconic form that's sort of midway through transitioning from a humanoid into a draconic form. And in your mind you see it begin to continue that transformation into a draconic form, and its wings flare outwards, blocking out the light of the stars around you, and then all of a sudden your mind comes back, and for the next 24 hours you can double the damage of one of your arcane spells.
Ooh.
As you feel the blessings of Koreska sort of coalesce within your spirit. So keep that in mind. For the next 24 hours, you can double the damage for one of your spells. And that happens. What do you want to do?
I look across at Patch and say, Patch, Koreska, and you hesi prayer. Oh, sorry, Koreska answers our prayer.
Oh, if you say so, buddy.
Yes.
Great.
I think we can now move on.
Okay.
Our journey has been blessed, and we are watched by Kareska.
Wonderful. Okay, let's go get
Let's
the
find
others.
the others.
I will
Yes.
put a limitation on that.
Right.
What I mean by that is you can treat one of them as if it were a critical. Does that make sense? So roll twice.
Okay.
And not
Roll
on
twice,
top
yeah.
of a critical. So you can't crit. What I'm
He
saying
just
is
waits to crit and he's just like, I'll double that one.
change a hit into a critical damage. Okay. You sort of snap back into your consciousness, and the camera sort of follows you as you snap back, and we shoot back into this other scene, back at the happy beholder. What do you guys want to do? You're going to head back to the autumn leaves, or?
I think that's the
I
plan.
guess yeah.
Yeah.
Like they've probably left the curtain, and they're walking out, and Thrash looks very guilty. Like very, very guilty, but it's probably being misinterpreted, I'd say. Yeah, she just looks very guilty. Like she's done something wrong.
Oh, she has.
Not yet.
Hellier is also
Yeah.
going to follow them. It's like 10
Whoa,
feet
whoa, whoa,
behind.
whoa, 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 whoa. What do you think you're doing?
She just like freezes up. What do you mean?
I mean, we didn't invite you back. Did you invite her back, Verena? I don't remember you inviting her back. Did we invite her back?
I mean, no one really invited me, but like, Luigi kind of said it would be best if I went with y'all, and I think it's in your best interest that I go with y'all.
Why would that be?
Darling, do you know anything about the Astral Sea?
No. But I just hired this very good deckhand. Like, he is fucking superb. And he's gonna tell us about the Astral Sea. He's very good. Like, really good.
Darling, nothing's better than me. I am the queen of the Astral Sea.
Oh, that's, yeah. But look, like, this guy, 5 gold a week. An absolute steal. Like, honestly. Like, genuinely, very good.
Who are you paying 5 gold a week to work on your ship?
Guida.
Oh, God, no.
Guida.
Darling,
Yeah.
you picked the wrong person. Now, Guida is good, don't get me wrong, but Guida is, knows how to play a fool, and I'm not surprised that you're that fool.
Hey, that's not very
So-
nice. If you want to come on my ship, on our ship, you're insulting me? That's like really not a good thing to do.
I think it's really best that I see the captain of that ship. You see, the captain's a good friend of mine.
Oh, he is now. He is now, is he?
He
That's
is a good friend of
interesting.
mine.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I guess if you're a good friend of the captain and, you're good friends with El Capitane, Thrash looks at Verena and elbows her and is like, hey, good friends with the captain, Mr. Caparoonie, Mr. Cappy too. Then, yeah, I guess we'll take you to the captain and, yeah, take it to the captain who you know because you're friends with the captain.
You know how you were saying before to that other lady that, you should sometimes stop talking and start listening?
Yeah.
I'm starting to see that.
I don't like you. It seems like you're very bad at handling animals.
I mean, yeah, you're not my type, sweetheart.
Yeah, you're really not my. It's kind of standing. My type is kind of standing right there. You know what? That's fine. You are. This conversation is irritating me. You are irritating me. Can we go now, Verena? I'm kind of done with this conversation. Don't
I'm really
follow us.
hoping Thrash looks over at
Stay
Verena and
away.
looks exactly like Helia.
No, Marina's just gone. She's just walking already.
Oh, I'll be there. You don't follow us. I mean it.
I'm getting really mixed messages here.
Don't follow us. I've got my eye on you.
Helia's gonna keep following, but she's gonna be stealthy about it.
Okay, can I roll perception?
Stealth check.
Because I'm watching her.
Cool. I'm gonna use my
Perception.
inspiration.
Please do.
Perception.
It's a 27.
Oh, fuck. That's a 14.
Plus 11 to stealth? What the actual?
Yep. I'm
That's
playing
messed
two
up.
opposite characters, baby.
That's
Thrash.
messed up.
She's totally staying back at the Happy Beholder. You've got nothing to worry about. You're completely on your own
sweet.
with Verena and Gadget.
Nice. So, now that Helia chick is gone, how exactly is this whole patch thing working? I still feel kind of guilty about that.
I mean, we'll see how it kind of plays out. I'm more so just going to get Dranbalas alone and, fill him in on the details and hopefully whisk away to this meeting.
But, isn't that kind of like, I don't know, a betrayal?
What's a betrayal, darling? I
Okay,
don't
let
think
me-
you've ever felt betrayal.
Let me put it this way. Let me put it this way, okay? Imagine you made 4 gadgets. 4 gadgets.
Mhm.
A perfect world indeed. 4 gadgets, okay? And those 4 gadgets, while you were sleeping, decided, fuck you, we're gonna pull you limb from limb, you bitch. And they pulled you limb from limb in your sleep.
Mhm.
Would you go, Jesus, ow, that hurt my emotional feelings as well as my exterior feelings?
No,
now
I
I feel
wouldn't do anything because
betrayed.
I'd be dead.
No, but you know what I mean. Like, your
And
ghost
I'd be
would feel
dead. You
betrayed.
need to get a
Yeah,
better
but-
metaphor.
Okay, fine. So these 4 gadgets decide, fuck you, you're a bitch, I'm gonna steal your last tool or whatever. And so they take your last, fucking spanner hammer, and they're like, we've got your spanner hammer now, and then they throw it off the asteroid. Like, wouldn't you be like, oh, that gave me an emotional ouchie. You've all ganged up on me emotionally, and that gave me an ouchie.
No,
You
I'd say
know-
I have more on the ship.
And Patch and Dranbalas, as you approach the ship, you can hear this absolute nonsense argument going on board the deck. As you all reconvene back on the autumn leaves.
Now,
for the
what
first time in a
exactly
while.
did I hear?
Verena is thinking about making 4 gadgets. 4 of them. 4 separate gadgets.
That is what you
1,
heard.
2, 3, 4.
I'm gonna say you were approaching from the street or from the pier. I'm not gonna say that you could exactly hear what they were saying, but you could hear that
Just
they
hear
were just
the
talking.
noise.
Yes.
Ah.
As you approach the gang ramp plank
Okay.
onto the astral leaves.
Hey, Thrash, Verena. I'm not sort of hurrying
Yes.
in your direction at this point.
Shut up. Hi, friend.
Okay. Look. We went and made some inquiries at the temples. There was a priest of Selune who was really helpful. If we do a job for them, just in the local cemetery, I gotta drink some oil, go to the ethereal plane, Dranbalas is gonna purge the spirits, and it'll be all cool. Then she can help us with Sliverbark and a greater restoration spell. Apparently he
That's
has
a
something called
great
a
idea.
void something curse, and
Ooh,
kind of rare.
wow.
Um,
Nice.
So
Thrash
need
is
a-
drunk.
No,
if you
I'm
haven't
not.
picked
That's a
up on it.
lie. That is a
She's-
lie.
Wait,
You
wait,
are
wait,
lying.
I want to ask, in the entire time Patch has known Thrash, has he ever seen her drinking?
No, actually, Thrash In the entire time you've known her, has only had 2 drinks, and both of them have been here, and both of them have been sculled in 1 shot.
Okay. So in that case, it might be a little bit like maybe she's developing a new habit, and so kind of like look back and forth between Patch and Verena and between Thrash and Verena. And she's like, okay, well, I was gonna suggest we get some rest anyway, but
Yeah, that's a great idea. You are
perfect.
just full of great ideas. That's a great idea.
first thing we need to head to the cemetery on the other side of the temple district and go and deal with this thing so we can get the help for Sliverbark.
And Dranbalas, you notice there's some stranger on board your ship. What do you want to do?
Right. How do I notice said stranger?
Well, I don't know. What would Halia be doing on board the Autumn Leaves? Or is she not on board the ship? Am I presuming?
No, Helia would get on board the ship, and as soon as she sees Dranbalas, she would be stalking him.
That's what you see.
Who are you?
Who is who? And Thrash turns around and she's like, You! I told you not to follow us!
As soon as she's pointed out, Helia is just gonna run straight at Dranbalas and just give him a massive hug.
It's like,
Someone's popular.
Hello.
Kukulane, it's an honor to meet you, sir. I have been looking for you for quite a long time. And
Miss.
I'm not Kukulane.
yeah, of course you are. You're here on the ship, and you look like him. Nope. You look just like him. I love your funny disguise.
I have some bad news to tell you.
Yeah,
Patch.
yeah, Miss, I'm really sorry to tell you this, but
But I just met Kukulane.
no,
It's a good experience.
We met Kukulane before we came here,
And you brought him to me.
He didn't make it. We lost him in a battle with a void dragon.
No, he's right here on the ship. You're being funny.
No.
Dranbalas, I'm really sorry.
No.
He was afflicted by the void touched curse.
You can all stop lying. This is a funny joke.
Girl, he like saved my life from a dragon and shit, and then he just faded into nothingness. It was pretty metal, but kind of not a great way to die.
It's really sad.
He saved all of us, and
He did.
He did. He did that.
Certain death.
I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying here.
the Craftian's curse. Have you heard of it?
No, but I've heard of you. I am honestly so excited. This is the best day of my life.
He died being affected by the Craftian's curse. I'm sorry to tell you this, but it is us now that take up his cause.
You see, Luigi told me that he would be here waiting for me one day or another, and here you are. You stumbled into the Happy Beholder, and look, everything just worked out.
Oh, you poor messed up child. No.
I don't know who you're calling a child here.
No.
Sorry to bear you this reality. But it is the truth.
I know it's hard losing people you cared about. So if you need some friends now, you're certainly welcome to stay with us for a while.
We're happy to discuss it over a warm beverage of tea.
We were about to settle in for the evening on board.
Look, I'm happy to stay, but only to make you realize that you're all wrong.
Okay.
You say
so.
It's been a lot of time, so of course you'll forget who you are.
How
that's
long
it.
do you think it's been?
I mean, time is weird here, but a long time. I don't know. I don't really want to think about it. It's been a while.
Okay.
Have you been on the ship before?
No, but I have been tracking it. It's
Tracking
kind of always been my
Ow.
dream to be on here. Oh, sorry. Hi. I'm Captain Helia Prince. I'm the Queen of the Astral Sea. You're kind of in my domain.
Hello, nice to meet you. Your Highness?
Well met.
Yes. See, Kukulane is a friend of mine. A friend that I never met. But I know him. He knows me. And
Well,
I was coming to find him.
Dranbalas, have you been staying in Captain's quarters?
I have,
Have
yes.
you had a chance to go through any of the journals? Do they mention Helia? Maybe.
I've read a couple, but there are many, many years worth of journals in there. Perhaps we could show you some of the journals and you could have a read through as well.
Yeah, that's what I would.
I would love that. That would be nice. And maybe I'll read them to you so you can remember everything you've done.
We might start with the last journal entry that we found.
Yeah.
Oh?
Maybe it will provide some closure and some explanation.
Closure's not really my thing. I'm kind of every open door is an open door and you just walk right through them, and right through in the hallway is your childhood hero. And here he is.
Say that because we went through a swirly grey energy door and ended up on this platform in the middle of wild space thingy, and that's where we met your hero. And that's also where he died.
Yeah, but we have walked through a lot of doors since then. Like a lot.
Exactly.
So many doors. So many doors. But yeah, look, I'm not gonna lie to you, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it because, but he did die. And, as I said, very metal. Like, if you can take any solace in the fact he died so badly, it was fucking sick. So sick.
Definitely a hero.
So metal. Stories will be told of his death around the world. I'll certainly tell it to whatever semblance of a goblin I give birth to. But
you can see Patch get like really sad for a moment, and then he's just like, Sertha would have written a good song about it.
Very good song. He was a very talented banjo player. Anyway, look, he's dead. It's unfortunate. But, we can move on and live life and all that stuff.
Who's dead?
Sliverbark, it's us, buddy. We're back.
Excuse me.
We've got a lead on how to help you.
Help me? With what?
Yeah, on how to make you feel better. We know you've not been well, remember?
Oh yes, you said something about a dragon's blood.
Yeah, so you've got a curse that's called a Void Touch.
Void Touch.
It's gonna take some greater restoration magic to fix you up. We found someone who can do it. Yes. We just have to do a job for them first, so we can afford the spell reagent thingies.
Is that this young lady here?
No, this
Hi.
is the one we just met.
Hi.
She claims to know Ku.
Oh.
You
knew him. That's wonderful.
I know him. He's right there.
She seems a bit confused.
And you see his eyes swivel towards Dranbalas and back towards you, Helia. He's like, oh dear. Oh, sweet child. This is not Kukulane.
I'm not a child. I'm just putting that out there.
Oh. Well.
Compared to a tree at his age, you probably are.
I guess when you've lived as long as I have, you see all as young, but I don't mean that to be an offense, my lady.
Of course not. So if that's not cool, Colleen, when's he coming back?
Oh dear. I'm afraid he's not coming back.
I'm not sure what you mean.
He's passed.
Passed by? Did I miss him?
Passed away. Died.
But that doesn't happen.
Ash.
He gave his life, his last moments, trying to save those around him.
And he did. He saved
Look,
all of us.
I'm sick of people doing that, you know? No one asks for that to happen.
If you don't mind my asking, how did you know him?
He saved my dad. Him and his friends saved my dad.
Oh, yes. That does sound like something that he would do. Controversial as he was.
I think that means that your dad and us here on the ship are in the same boat, so to speak, because he saved us too.
You don't understand though that a man died to save my dad. His name was Kevror.
What?
And now Kuz lost his life. It's just not happened, you know? It just doesn't happen like that. People don't give up their lives for others like that, you see? It's a lie.
But they do. I've seen it happen before. Yeah, I made the same face. Yeah, look, it does happen. It's a thing that people do, apparently. Look, at first I didn't get it really either. I mainly just kill people for very selfish reasons. But, like, I mean, Patch does it all the time. He just fucking throws himself in front of things and is like, you know, it does happen. It
Perhaps
happens.
I can help you understand. Here, come up here to the helm and take a seat. And as I say this, I be sending a telepathic message to Guida to say, like, bring up some tea or something. Hoping that he might help. Assuming that he would, being paid bloody 5 gold a day.
A week.
Wondering if this experience of sitting in the live chair would help out.
He's asleep.
The message would then be, wake the hell up, get me some tea. But regardless, I would sit the Queen of Space down in the helm so she can feel the ship.
Alright.
If she would like to sit.
Are you a spellcaster?
No, she can't attune to it.
So she sits down in the chair. She feels nothing at all.
Can see that she's holding on to this small rabbit's foot that's kind of looped off of her belt, and she's holding it and she's muttering to herself. You can definitely tell that she's starting to tear up. Like, as much as she's in denial, she kind of understands. Yes, Grace, yes.
The second one's clocked onto it.
Yeah, that's why my face. Yeah, it's her.
She was.
Yeah.
She was what?
Yeah, the little girl from 50 Shades of Grey matter.
And I gave her a little plant rabbit.
Yeah.
That's his foot.
I'm a cruel, cruel being.
You're all great.
So good. I wonder whatever happened to Doc Hovel.
Yeah.
And Ginger.
Yeah.
Hey, who knows?
Ginger survived.
Maybe we'll do a Far Beyond the Void sequel, prequel. You never know. So, yeah. Look, you guys gather back on board the Astral Leaves. I'll leave it up to you to decide exactly how much information that you share amongst yourselves for the rest of the night. But I'm assuming at some point you're going to take a long rest.
For sure.
Patch is kind of antsy for us to like get the resting done and out of the way and get on the mission as quickly as possible because Sliverbark needs help.
Go ahead. Click off a long rest.
Alright.
That was a long time coming.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I like to really drag it out. Make it a slog. I don't want you guys enjoying yourselves. So... Verena.
Spell slots.
Yes.
You twist and turn in your sleep. Your dreams are filled with nightmares of an endless, unknowable void that consumes all things. Atrophy. Unstoppable atrophy. And you wake up with a point of exhaustion.
So does that mean I don't recover the one I already had?
No, you can just keep it on there.
Okay.
So, that's a success. That's with a success. Because you succeeded on your Constitution saving throw. So, all things considered, you got off quite lightly. The rest of you have your long rest. Grace, do you still want to do Thrash's roll?
Oh yeah, why not?
Oh yeah, why not?
I'm here. Gotta get that extra rage.
We're here for it.
Yeah,
think,
she's fine.
Alright.
I think Patch would spend, a little while by himself before we actually settle in, just like near Sliverbark, but not actually like engaging with him, letting him rest. And just
Patch,
kind of.
do you have a moment?
Yeah,
I
sure.
thought of another one of my riddles.
Oh, okay. I love your riddles.
Yes, it's the one thing that I can look forward to. That and watching the ships come and go. This has been just wonderful.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Even if this void curse takes me over, I just want you to know that I appreciate everything that you've done. It's nice to have lived once more. Oh, but the riddle. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. I fall and never rise, often present when one dies, often in company of great pain, ever lost within the rain. Take some time, come back to me when you can cure me of this void curse, and tell me what you think the answer is.
Okay.
The anticipation makes me feel so alive.
Okay. I'll tell the others too, so they can put their brains to it, and we'll see if we can come up with the answer.
Alicia looks like she's already Googled it.
I have not.
So I have.
I have not.
Save it for later.
Yeah. So, at which point Patch would settle in and he'd memorize that first. So I'm gonna need to get you to write that down because I don't have a very good memory.
Yeah, I've got it. I'll chuck it on the Discord later.
Yeah, sweet. And then he would just sort of kneel as if he was going into prayer. But because he's not so sure on the whole Talishrin thing anymore, he's not specifically praying to Talishrin. He's just tentatively reaching out.
Okay. Tentatively reaching out.
Yeah, like to whatever greater powers are around. Like, because he's not sure, like, because his reality's been broken, right? Like, he had this worldview all his life, and now he's found out that wasn't the case, and that the entity that was giving him power is this other thing. So now he's kind of reaching out to see if there is anything, good or all powerful in the verse that he could, have faith in again.
You kneel in prayer, not sure what words to speak now that your whole world has been shattered, your worldview torn apart by the realization that everything that you knew about Tal Ashren may not be exactly what you thought it was. But your mind drifts back and we see a scene of a young Patch laying in the grass, missing his friend sorely, Sarathel, who's away training for the Gentella Shah. As you lay there in the grass looking up into the sky that slowly transitions from twilight to the darkness of night, you see the stars and their light start to pierce through the canopy of the trees above you, and a single leaf drops from a tree. You hold out your hands and it lands in your palm. You hold it to your face and you remember seeing a pattern in that leaf, in the veins of the leaf. And as you hold that leaf up to yourself, you feel something wet nuzzle into your neck. The camera pans across and you see a little puppy that came out of the wilderness around you, and it nuzzles up into your neck. And you look back towards that leaf. This is like hazy, like a memory, or is it a dream that you had? You're not sure. But you look back towards that leaf and you can feel, more than you can see, the image of a scythe. And we'll see you next week.
Image of a what?
Aww.